Do you need to file ITR 1 but you don't have time? In the next 15 minutes, I will teach you exactly how to file your income tax return for financial year 25-26 step by step. This video is for salaried individuals with income below 50 lakhs. No jargon, no confusion, just a clear screen by screen guide. Watch till the end because missing few points can lead to a notice from income tax department. So let's begin. Let's start with a simple question. Who can file ITR 1? How do you know that you are eligible for filing ITR 1? There are different type of ITRs available in the income tax site. But are you eligible to file ITR 1? Let's see the conditions for it. So you can file ITR 1 if you meet all the following conditions. The first one is residential status. That means you must be a resident individual. So there is certain conditions by which you are treated as resident under Income Tax Act. Second, total income does not exceed 50 lakh during the financial year. If you cross 50 lakh, then you need to use ITR 2, not ITR 1. Income sources. So here, any one of the income sources will fulfill the condition, not that you should have all this income. First is salary or pension. Second, income from up to 2 house properties. Third, income from other sources such as interest from saving accounts, fixed deposits or family pension. Agricultural income up to rupees 5,000. Long-term capital gain under section 112A up to 1.25 lakhs, provided there are no brought forward or carry forward capital losses. That means if you have sold some shares or mutual fund and the income is less than 1.25 lakhs, which is generally exempted, then you can use ITR 1. And the last is clubbed income. Income of spouse or minor child can be included if it falls under the permitted categories. So if you fulfill these conditions, then you are eligible to file ITR 1. Before you file the return, I would suggest that you keep certain documents ready because when you will be filling the data, you need to match the numbers, you need to match the data. So here are the list of the documents which should be ready before you file your ITR 1. The first one is PAN. Second is Form 16, which is issued by your employer, and you will find all the details of your salary income and the tax deposited by your employer. Third is very important document, AIS, Annual Income Statement, which you will find in the income tax site. This will give you the breakup of all different type of incomes, not only salary, it could be your interest, your dividend. And Form 26AS, this also you will need to download from the income tax site where you will find details of the income earned and the tax deducted on those income. Then is interest certificates. If you have any fixed deposits in any bank, then bank issue these interest certificates where they give you the details of interest earned during the year plus the tax deducted on that. Home loan interest certificate. If you have taken any home loan, then definitely you need to get a certificate from the bank. And the last one is bank account details for refund. So if you are going to claim any refund in the ITR, then you need to share the bank details. So you need to have all the details like a bank account, IFSC code and all that. Now, if you are new and you have never filed your return in the past, then you need to register and create your password in the income tax site. The site to be used is incometax.gov.in/IEC/4 portal. And this is how your screen will look when you log in. Now, you need to register because you don't have any password. So you need to create a password. User ID generally will be your PAN number. So fill all details and create your password. So once you are registered, use your password to log in. And once you log in, you'll find this page where it will ask you to select the assessment year for which you are filing the return. And always you need to understand that assessment year is always the following year. That means the year in which you earn the income, the subsequent year is called as assessment year. So as we are filing return for 25-26, the assessment year which I need to select is 26-27. Now, when you select this, it will ask you, are you going to file the return online or offline? And you need to select online because you are going to fill all the data in the site. And once you click that, then you will find one page where it will ask you to start a new filing. And if you have done any past filing and it is still not saved, it will show you in draft stage. But as we are doing for the first time, it will ask you to start new filing. Once you click on new filing, it will ask you to select the status applicable to you. That means, are you filing as an individual, HUF or others? So in your case, it will be individual. So click on individual. And once you click on individual and click on proceed, it will ask you which ITR you are going to file. And this is where you need to select ITR 1 because you are eligible to file under ITR 1. Once you click on ITR 1, it will ask you, why are you filing this return? That means, what is the condition you have fulfilled to file this return? So this is the page what you will see, and you need to select the first one. That is, taxable income is more than basic exemption limit. And once you click this, you will find this page where you will have 5 headings: your personal information, gross total income, total deduction, tax paid, and the last will be verify your tax liability details. And once you fill all these 5 details, you can submit your return. So we'll do a deep dive understanding of all these 5 headings, but keep your documents ready what I explained in the first slide. This page is very important where you need to provide your personal information. So you need to give your name, you need to give your PAN, you need to give your date of birth and Aadhaar number. Date of birth should match with Aadhaar number and the PAN card as well. Once you fill the data, you need to provide the contact details, your mobile number, your email address and primary address. All these addresses and email and mobile number should be verified. That means it should be matching with Aadhaar so that it will be easy for any communication with the tax department. One thing you need to note, there will be 2 type of address. One is primary and one is secondary address. So in secondary address, you can just tick it saying that same as primary address unless there is difference in both. Next question will be, under what section are you filing your return? So in this case, as you're filing for the first time and before the due date, you need to file under 139(1). That is, return filed on or before due date. Now, sometime it may happen that you have filed your return and you want to revise it because some information was not correct. In that case, you need to select the third one, 139(5), that is revised return. And once you click this, the next information which you need to fill is the bank details. So ensure that all the details are accurate here, because if you are claiming for any refund, the department is going to credit amount only in this bank. If your bank information is wrong, you will never get your money back on time. So don't do this mistake. Once you fill the personal information, the next tab is gross total income. This is where you need to check all your details perfectly along with the documents what you have. So system will autofill the data based on the data filed by your employer, filed by the banks or by the mutual fund houses. Now, under income from salary, it will show you the gross salary, and this amount you need to tie up with form 16. Okay. Any mismatch, you need to dig into it or you need to communicate to your employer if something to be rectified. Now, if you try to modify this number, system will not accept because system will throw an error saying that your employer has declared X amount and you are modifying to Y. So you have to be very careful, ensure that this number matches with form 16. Once you fill the data of salary, the next point you need to check is income from other sources. So mostly it will have dividend income, interest from deposits, interest from savings, and interest from income tax refund. And this data also will be auto-filled by the department, but you need to verify. Now, when you need to verify, you need to check with your statement like AIS and 26AS. There could be some differences between 26AS and the amount reported here because certain dividends are not included for tax deduction. So you would have received the gross amount from the companies. Similarly, interest on deposits, interest on savings, even though the amount is not received by you, this will be based on accrual basis. That means whenever the bank accrues this liability for you, they will be declaring here to the department. So don't expect that the money should be credited to your bank ledger. Now, once the income from other source is validated, the next point you need to validate is long-term capital gain under section 112A. Here, one thing you need to keep in mind, if you have short-term capital gain, then you need to fill ITR 2. Only if you have a long-term capital gain, and that too the income is below 1.25 lakhs, that is the exemption limit, then only you need to file this return. So what data you need to provide here? Total sales consideration. That means whatever amount you have realized by selling. And one mistake which generally people do, they don't match with AIS data. AIS data will show you the total sales consideration declared by the companies and mutual fund houses. So that amount need to match with your data. So sales consideration should be accurate here, because any mismatch, you will get a notice for it. Total cost of acquisition, that means your purchase cost, that you need to show here. And the difference between these two will be the amount which is taxable. Now, one thing you need to keep in mind, if you have loss, not capital gain, then again, you can't file in ITR 1. Any loss has to be carried forward, and that has to be reported in ITR 2. So many people, they don't understand this. They fill ITR 1 and they get stuck when they fill short-term gain or long-term loss. So be careful here. Only long-term gain to the extent of 1.25 lakhs can be reported here. Even income more than 1.25 lakhs, you need to file ITR 2. Once you fill the gross income, the next tab is total deduction. And if you are in new regime, the deduction is limited. So the deduction what I've shown here is 80 CCD, that is contribution to NPS by your employer. So in your CTC or in your salary breakup, if you have any component where the employer is contributing to NPS, then that is exempted from tax. So that amount need to be reported here. Generally, this will be auto-filled because your employer would have filed this detail to the tax department. After deduction, you need to check the tax paid. Generally, you need not put any data here. Only you need to validate that the tax deducted by your employer or tax deducted on interest and dividend are declared properly here. And if there is any tax payable for you, that means you have to pay some tax, then you can pay that and you can report it under advance tax and self-assessment tax. But if you are not paying, it is already deducted by your employer, then you need not pay any tax here. But yes, it is good that you validate these numbers matching with your form 16, matching with form 26 AS. This is the last part where you need to click on verify your tax liabilities. And this is very important because this is the final calculation of your tax amount, what you need to pay to the government. And this is how you can find on the screen. You will have tax payable on total income, and it will show you that what tax actually has been paid by your employer and your other sources. And if there is any tax liability that need to be paid, I would suggest that you pay it to avoid any interest in future. And once you pay the tax, this data will be filled automatically and you can see that the tax liability is reported as zero. There will be no tax payable amount reported. And that situation is possible only when you have not paid any advance tax. For example, you have received 40,000 rupees as dividend. On that, you need to pay 30% tax, but you have missed it. You have not paid the advance tax during the year. And now when the data is filled and matching with AIS, it will throw a tax liability because you need to pay 30% tax on dividend. But at source, the TDS deducted is only 10%. So remaining 20%, you need to pay it. So ensure that you pay advance tax throughout the year whenever it is due, instead of keeping at the last and pay along with the ITR, because this will attract certain amount of interest. So it's better to avoid that interest. Now, once you verify your tax liability, you pay your tax, you are almost done. Now, the last part is you need to validate the data. So you need to ensure that the data what is given is perfect, because you may get any notice for any wrong declaration. So review the return, validate errors. It may show some errors, and when you see the errors, you can double click on that. System will take you back to that page where you need to rectify. You need to understand also what is the error, and then submit the return. Complete e-verification. Now, this e-verification can be made through OTP received in your registered mobile number based on your Aadhaar card. So the mobile number which is linked to your Aadhaar card will be used to e-verify. And if you're doing e-verification, you need not send this soft copy to anyone. That is automatically filed. So that's it from my side. Hope you like this video. If you have any specific query on your return, please write in the comment box. I'll be happy to help you. Thank you. And if you like this video, please subscribe to this channel and share with your friends. Thank you.